And welcome back to another CBB Talk with your boy Will Dickinson. Sorry for no episode on Wednesday, but we're back here on Friday. It was very busy, I have to do this after school and had stuff to do, and I didn't want to put out a late episode on Wednesday because it would have been no point. Because by the time most people would watch it, these games on Wednesday would have already happened. So I'm bringing you a bigger Friday episode, I guess. We're not going to go in too much detail about the games from this week. We'll cover some of the notable results, but then this is going to be mostly a weekend look ahead. And then Monday, of course, we'll recap the weekend. So that's always some of the most fun is obviously the Saturdays in college basketball. They're always jam-packed and fun. So let's talk about some of the notable results. One of the biggest games came in the SEC. Alabama takes down Auburn to get their first big win of the year. The metrics love Bama. They're finally playing like it. They're 5-1 in the SEC. I moved them to 21 in my poll. I still got Auburn there at 9. They moved down. Auburn moved down 3 spots. Alabama's into my top 25 at 21 there. Alabama played very, very well in this game. Mark Sears led the way. I believe he had 20-some points there. And John A. Broome had a big game from Auburn, but the rest of the players, they have a lot of depth over there, Auburn, but they don't have a go-to scorer, and they're going to have to figure that out. Bama's offense, again, so deadly. They shoot the ball well. Rylan Griffin came out and just absolutely knocking down threes in this game, which was huge for Bama. And Auburn drops, and I think Auburn's a very, very good team, but they don't have a quad one win right now, and we're almost to February. So that's a little concerning if I'm Auburn that you don't have one win in the first quadrant there, but they got a lot of time to prove it. But if they don't have 3 or 4 by the end, going into the tournament, I will have a concern about Auburn being able to make a deep run, but that's just one game. I'm not too worried about it. Kentucky, they lost to South Carolina. I believe that was on Tuesday. South Carolina, I have my eye on them. They're not there yet to be in the top 25, but they put the work to Kentucky, who I dropped down to 11. South Carolina played very, very well. It wasn't even Mechie Johnson who led the way. That's been South Carolina's best player. Kentucky's defense is horrendous, and they got to work on that. They're not even in the top 100 in D1 college basketball and defensive efficiency. So they have to work on that because they have one of the best offenses in the country, but their defense is really what's lacking. So they have to pick that up if they want to make a tournament run in March. The SEC is super competitive, right? I have them I still have them third in the SEC there, but I think Alabama definitely is going to be up there with Kentucky. And watch out for South Carolina, who's playing really good basketball right now. Big win for the Gamecocks. Really boosts their tournament chances and opportunity going forward there. Good win. And South Carolina, I think they're 16-3. Definitely looking like they are going to be a tournament team as of now, and can just maintain what they're doing. Should be in the SEC, a top 6 should be able to get you in the SEC into the tournament. Illinois lost the game to Northwestern. All the memes about Northwestern was they turned to a great team at home against a top 10 team. Second win against an AP top 10 team this year for Northwestern. Of course, they knocked off Purdue at home, and then they go and beat Illinois. Terrence Shannon was back, heckling Terrence Shannon. Northwestern gets a very, very good win there. Boo Booey's the man. I mean, 20, I believe he had 29 in this one in an overtime game. Big time shots down the stretch there. He looks like an All-American type player. He looked like the best player on the court sharing a court with Terrence Shannon. Um, Look, Northwestern's not ranked right now, and I've had them ranked earlier this season, but I like what the Wildcats are doing. Chris Collins has done an amazing job over there at Northwestern, and they've never made back-to-back tournaments. This year they're trending in that direction. The Big Ten's weak, right? The Big Ten is a weak conference. And they're right now in that third, probably in that fourth, fifth best team in that conference. That's their range. And if you finish there in the Big Ten, you're going to be an NCAA tournament team. They've really proven to be a legit competitor, and especially at home there. They have a great atmosphere. Those uniforms very interesting that they're wearing, but they win when they wear them. Northwestern, good win. Not too worried about Illinois. They're gonna get back, assuming Terrence Shannon keeps playing. I have Illinois at 12. I'm still high on the Illini. Uh, and they didn't really struggle too much without Terrence Shannon. They're 1-1 with him being back, and I expect Illinois to keep trending in the right direction as their rosters improved. Another team that took a loss was Arizona. I don't know what to think about Arizona. I moved Arizona from 11 to 16. I think they were up as high. They were in the top 10 before this episode if they won that game, but now they're not. They're at 16. Arizona is a weird team. This is their third loss in the Pac-12. They have all of them being road losses to Stanford, Washington State, and now Oregon State. All those teams will not be dancing next year, and that's concerning me. Again, they haven't lost back-to-back games, but they're 6-5 on their last 11 after an amazing start. I believe they had an 8-0 start, so they're now 19-5. No, that can't be right. They're 8-0. So 18-5? No way they're 18-5. Maybe they are 18-5. I have no idea. Um, Arizona's playing just strange basketball. I mean, Kylan Boswell, as when they lose, plays bad. Caleb Love still can't be a consistent piece. And then besides that, they need other guys to step up, whether it's Pele Larson, Omar Ballo, guys like that to step up and contribute double-digit points would be huge for Arizona. And they've been struggling on the road recently a lot, and now they're 2 games back in the Pac-12 of Oregon. Or no, they're 1 game back of Oregon in the Pac-12. Guess who they play this weekend? Oregon on the road. Let's see if Arizona can bounce back and get a road win. If not, I'm going to be really concerned about the Wildcats here because even if you win the Pac-12, you're not getting a lot of quality wins there. They were so good in the non-con before that FAU game, and now they've really slipped. I'm not loving what Arizona's doing right now. It's shocking, but I believe they can pick it up. But they kind of did this last year where they lost weird games, and we saw what happened. They were lost in the first round as a 2 seed. So keep your eye out for Arizona. They could be a trendy pick if they can get hot, maybe get to a 3 line. But also they could really fall off here because the Pac-12 not looking too good there, and they're not going to be able to get too many really impressive wins. And then yeah, some Colorado State took a loss. The Mountain West is tough. They lost to Nevada. Tough game there. Seton Hall lost a really tough game to Providence, so a big win for Providence there. Texas got another big win over Oklahoma. Oklahoma trending in the wrong direction now. It's back-to-back losses for the Sooners. I got Oklahoma down to 22. Not trending in the right direction. And Texas back in the right direction. They've won now 2 games in a row, and that one was a road win. So shout out to Wait, was that a road win for Texas? I think it was a road win for Texas. And then keep your eye on Princeton. They've been playing some really good ball of recent, and it's really good to see them playing well. And then besides that, nothing too crazy happened. UNC continues to win. Tennessee continuing to win. Kansas, we saw them fall over the weekend. They bounced back, got a win there. Not a lot of bench production from Kansas, but a win nonetheless there. Wisconsin, big game tonight coming up. So let's look ahead. Let's start looking ahead here. I might have missed some notable results, but at the end of the day, it was nothing too crazy. Iowa State got a nice win over Kansas State this weekend. New Mexico might be my favorite team in the Mountain West now that Colorado State's dropped off. They're out of my rankings for the first time in a while. And right now in the Mountain West, I have New Mexico at 19, and I have Utah State at 15, New Mexico at 19, and San Diego State at 25 with Boise State, Colorado State just out. Nevada, I don't know. They were going through a little losing streak before picking up that home win against the Rams. But let's move on to some look ahead games because we got a lot of good ones. Let's start tonight, 8 p.m. on FS1. Michigan State on the road against Wisconsin there in the Kohl Center. Gonna be a tough game here for Michigan State. They gotta start winning some road games. They've been struggling to do that this year. With a lot of college basketball teams, we got Wisconsin 3-point favorites at home. I think this is gonna be a really tight game. Michigan State has been playing better. Again, the computers really like Michigan State. Tyson Walker's been the man over there, and now they've had other people step up, whether it's Trey Holloway or AJ Hoggard. Malik Hall's been playing better. But Wisconsin, man, has been still just such a consistent team in the Big Ten. They've only dropped one game in conference play there. I have Wisconsin now number 10 in my poll. AJ Storr has been really, really good. Chucky Hepburn, Max Cleesmith, I think is his name. He can shoot the leather off the ball. He's been really good. I think Wisconsin will pull out this win at home. But if Michigan State can do this, I would really boost their tournament resume. And Michigan State is not a guaranteed team to make the tournament. I think a lot of people have been liking the way they've been playing as of recent. But I'm still not fully sold on Michigan State there. I had high expectations. I thought they were going to be a Final Four team coming in this year, and they weren't. So I want to see them bounce back, and not bounce back, but prove they can, play against some of the best teams in the country. And I believe Wisconsin can be like that. That should be a good one. Tune in at 8 o'clock tonight. But let's move on to Saturday because Saturday is stacked. Here I'll just show it. We got Kansas at Houston. I expect Kansas State at Houston. I believe Houston's going to win this game. They've been playing way better recently after going that 2-game skid. Their defense has been so elite. Um, let's see. Probably the best game of the weekend is Kansas at Iowa State. TJ Ossenberger, good win over the weekend. They're on a little winning streak now. I'm sorry, we win. I believe 2 nights ago against Kansas State. I got Iowa State 18th in the country, and then they're hosting Kansas, struggling on the road. I believe they're 1-3 on the road this season, or 1-2 on the road this season. Under 500 team there. And again, it's gonna come down to someone else stepping up. Johnny Furphy's been really good in his last couple of games. Can he be that fifth guy? But besides that, you're gonna need someone else to step up. They didn't need it earlier this week, but I think they will against Cincinnati. But I think they're gonna need it on the road here, in Iowa State, which is almost an impossible place to play. Tamin Lipsey, I believe, is going to be back for this game, which is huge for the Cyclones. I like Iowa State to get the job done at home here. I'm not totally sold on Kansas after they were previously ranked number one in the country. I have Kansas 6, Iowa State 18. I could see these two meeting somewhere in the middle um after tomorrow. This one's on CBS, 1:30, middle of the day. Big game there. Rock Chalk on the road against Iowa State, the Cyclones. I just love the way they're playing, and they're about to go to the tournament for the third straight year. After having a really rough patch for a little bit. Iowa State really looking good, but it's Kansas. Kansas being an underdog in any game is going to be a little strange and weird. Seton Hall's on the road against Marquette. Seton Hall not trending in the right direction. They've been on a little bit of a losing skid here. Had to drop them out of my top 25. Marquette on doing the opposite. They've been playing really well, getting back up to that level in the preseason that we expected them to be at. Tyler Kulik's playing his best basketball of the season right now. And I expect that to continue at home. Cam Jones playing better. David Joplin's been a great piece, and Oso Iguodaro, of course, has been that dude. But this team runs when Tyler Kolek runs, and he's been playing phenomenal as of recently. I think Marquette gets a nice win there, and I got Marquette right now trending right in the right direction at 14. That's what the poll has them. So we're pretty similar on what Marquette can be, and they'll probably move up if they can win that game. Texas is at BYU. This is a really good game. I'm kind of selling my BYU stock. They live in down 3, which is a risky factor, but also they just have not been playing great in Big 12 play. Of course, they have great computer numbers. They had a very good non-con. But as we've gotten the conference play, BYU has not been the team that they were before that. And Texas is starting to play better. I don't think they're a tournament team right now, but I think they have the talent to be that. They've lost 4 out of their last 6 games. They're on a 2-game slide after losing at home to Houston earlier this week. Um, Look, they got some decent wins this year. They have a win against Iowa State, a win against San Diego State, a road win against Arizona State, but they've lost games to Utah this year, and then now they're not. They've been struggling in Big 12 play. One of the wins is against UCF. So I don't know how good this BYU team is, and they're kind of getting humbled by the Big 12. And I think Texas can really go in there and win this game. Now, if I don't know if BYU's 8-point favorite, which I think is a little bit too much, so I would take Texas to cover that 8. Max Abmas has been playing really good recently. Dylan DeSue's been the game changer for them. But BYU at home, I think they can pull it out, but I think 8's too big of a number here. I like Texas to cover. But BYU needs a win here. If not, it could get a little scary for BYU facing a 2-5 record in conference play. You don't want that. Texas Tech at Oklahoma. This is a ranked-unranked matchup. I got Texas Tech 23, Oklahoma 22. Losers game, most likely out of my top 25. Texas Tech on the road, 3.5-point favorites, which really means these teams are about the same. And I have to agree. Pop Isaacs has been amazing for Texas Tech. He's been the leader of that team. Oklahoma again gets it done by a lot by committee, and recently it hasn't been working out for Oklahoma. Of course, they got off to an amazing start this year, and they've kind of cooled off. Coming off the loss against Texas, their record in the Big 12 3-3, so not too bad, but not amazing. Again, they had a 10-0 start, and they are now 5-4 in their last 9 games since then. Javen McCollum and Otega Owe have been the leaders for that team, but I think Texas Tech can get it down the road here. Again, you don't want to lose home games in the Big 12. I like Texas Tech though to get this one done. I think they're the better team. UNC is on the road against a decent Florida State team. Watch out for that one. North Carolina North Carolina playing really well. RJ Davis had a 30-point game earlier this week. He's been on an absolute tear. Indiana's at Illinois. Indiana's not that good. Illinois should bounce back at home. And keep building wins, Illinois. You could contend for a top 3 seed in the tournament. Villanova needs a win against Butler. Villanova is really struggling. They're going to be a bubble team. Road wins the Big East are hard to come by. This is a gettable one in Hinkle. Try to win. Auburn's on the road against Mississippi State. This is a 2.5-point spread. I believe this would be a quad 1 win if they win this. So I like Auburn. But I believe in Auburn. Mississippi State's coming off a loss this week to Florida, I believe. And Auburn did not play poorly in the Alabama game. That was almost an impossible place to come in. There was a little delay in that game. I like the Tigers to get this one done there. John Abraham can continue his hot streak, but that's a great matchup against Tolu Smith. Those two players, some of the best bigs in the SEC. A game I'm really looking forward to, Clemson at Duke at 4. Clemson's playing better. They went through a rough patch. They're kind of picking it back up. Are they the third best team in the ACC? I'm not sure because, man, who wants to be the third best team in the ACC? Because it seems like no one. Because once someone gets to that, they just start losing. I think it's got to be Clemson. Duke, of course, coming off a loss last weekend, then beat Louisville this weekend. So pretty much it's like they just got a bye game against Louisville. So this is a big one. Back at home, tough environment to go play if you're Clemson here. I think Duke will pull it out. I really do. They should hopefully get at least Jeremy Roach or Mark Mitchell back in this game. Having both would be huge. Flipkowski's been the guy still over there in Duke, but that's a great matchup against PJ Hall. They're going to have to give everything to him because Flip does play the 5, but he's not too big of a guy, and Clemson has a very big and tall lineup that they can play, which might give Duke problems. TCU's at Baylor, kind of selling my TCU slack. I bought it after they beat Houston. I'm kind of selling it back. But could be Baylor could get caught here. I'm trying to say could get caught. I'm not sure what to think about Baylor. I think Baylor is a fine team, but I don't know how much I believe in them. Again, they lost that game to Texas. They got a win earlier this week. I got Baylor 17th in the nation here. I think they should be able to win this one at home. I do believe it will be close. 5.5 could be too much there, so watch out for that one. I still think TCU is a tournament level team, but there will be a double. They're probably going to be a close to a double digit seed at 8-9 range. A great one, the Mount West. Utah State at Boise State. Winner of this game, I think. Well, Utah State loses, they'll probably still be ranked. Boise State wins this game. They're going to be ranked. They're tied for first in the Mount West. I believe they're 5-1 in conference play. And their one loss is at home. So, and this one's back home. You got to take advantage of that. I like Boise State to win this one. I like the Broncos. I like this roster more than Utah State's. Max Bryce, Dinglehalt. They got a good constructed roster. And I think Utah State does too. Don't get me wrong. Um, but I think Utah State will come back to earth a little bit. And in the Mountain West, it's almost impossible to win at home. And Boise State's been one of the best home teams the last couple of years. I like the Broncos to get this done and continue their tournament resume and probably sneak into the top 25 with a win. Um, Colorado's on the road. Colorado's been playing way better since they've got fully healthy. They could be that second best team, first best team in the Pac-12, but they play on the road against Washington State. That's gonna be a challenge. Let's look. Let's look. Yeah, I talked about Arizona going on the road against Oregon. Arizona's -3.5 in this game. I think that's a fair line. Oregon, coming off a win against Arizona State, did struggle last week when I think they went 0-2 both games on the road. Now they're at home in Eugene, a big game. A top 10 team coming to town should be a great atmosphere out there in Oregon. I think Oregon gives them all they got. But Arizona hasn't lost 2 games in a row under Tommy Lloyd. I believe that will continue and they'll pick up a road win. But I do think it's close. Could see it going either way. And Oregon's looking for a signature win to start building a little tournament resume. I think they could do it with a win here at home against Arizona. But I think Arizona's just they're too talented and too good to start to lose 2 games in a row. Dayton on the road against Richmond. Both teams undefeated in conference play. That could get tricky for the Flyers. But I have to believe in Deron Holmes. Kobe Elvis has been amazing. Dayton, road win. They're number 7 right now for me. Continue to win and watch Dayton become a 2 seed in this NCAA tournament this year. The best 2 teams in the Sun Belt face off. App State won the first one on the road against James Madison. Now, James Madison, can they return the favor on the road? That's going to be a tough one in Boone. Let's see if the Dukes can do it. Who I'm rooting for. Kentucky's on the road against Arkansas. This is the game day game. Arkansas's dog shit. Please win, Kentucky. Please win, Kentucky. Prove that you're a top 10 caliber team because our defense is so terrible. I think it'll be close. It should be a rocking environment in Bud Walton, even though Arkansas's ass. That is just the worst prediction I've had this year. Is that Arkansas is a top 10 team pretty much. I think I am a top 10 team preseason. And yeah, they're not making the tournament. They're bad. They're bad. But maybe they can win a game here. They beat Duke this year at home. They can beat Kentucky at home. NC State, Syracuse. Those are gonna be some bubble-ish teams. I believe Syracuse is better. They're at home. Judah Mintz, Copeland, JJ Starling. I like the Syracuse roster. Let's see if they can get a win though. Um, Cincinnati hosting UCF. Cincinnati is going to start winning more games here, and this is one that is definitely winnable or should be a win. Home against UCF. Bama's at home against LSU. Bama win that game, they'll be ranked. As the polls drop. Ole Miss at A&M. That's a very interesting one. Both these teams could be tournament teams. They're in that middle pack of the SEC. This is when, at the time last year, where Texas A&M started to get red hot. Can they do it again? A team that was supposed to be really good coming into the year. Ole Miss, they're going to regress back. I don't think there'll be a tournament team this year, but still, they've had a very good year under Chris Beard in his first season. But I expect Texas A&M to get it done at home, and maybe they can start getting hot at the right time like they did last year. Northwestern, Ohio State. Ohio State's really struggled of recent. I like Northwestern to get back-to-back home wins, but this is Northwestern. If you're legit, you gotta win these games. You can't have a letdown. And then, really Utah Washington's an interesting one. Utah's coming off a loss, I believe, to Washington State. And now they have to go on the road against Washington, who's just okay. If the Pac-12 wants to have 2 or 3 bids, or at least 3 bids, Utah's got to win that game on the road. And let's check Sunday. Of course, we have NFL on Sunday, which is going to be really good. Purdue's at Rutgers. Rutgers is known to be as upset teams, especially Purdue. But this Rutgers team, I just don't think it has in them. And Xavier's at UConn. I think UConn should win that game, maintain their #1 ranking there. Xavier's not too good. Memphis is on the road. They'll probably lose. Let's be real. They're going to lose that game somehow, and then officially be unranked. They're going to be on that teetering of being ranked this week. And then Nevada at New Mexico. I like this. New Mexico might be my favorite team in the West. They might be my favorite to win it. I love their 3 guard lineup. Nevada, they also have a very good guard over there. And they're coming off a big win against Colorado State. If they can get a road win, they will definitely jump the Wolfpack back into that ranked category and get them off that bubble. So yeah, I'm losing my voice. I do not know how long this episode was. It could have been 30 minutes, could have been 20 minutes. Who knows, man? I'm just out here having a good time. I'm sorry I couldn't bring you an episode on Wednesday, but when you were home alone, you had a lot of responsibilities, you got school. It was just I just couldn't do it. But I brought you one today, so go watch it. Go enjoy some college basketball. Go enjoy your Sunday, your weekend. Have fun, live life, enjoy it. And man, if there's also one other thing you want to do, go watch some college basketball because it never disappoints when the unexpected is expected. It's the beauty of the sport because you never know what's going to happen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Monday for the weekend recap. Bye.